The Tiv people belong to a minor ethnic group in Nigeria, numbering about 6 million. They occupy the Middle Belt region of Nigeria, comprising of states such as Benue, Taraba, Nasarawa, and Plateau. They can also be found in Cameroon. They are great farmers producing crops such as yam, cassava, maize, melon. The people of Tiv have some of the most unique culture in Nigeria, one envied by many who came in contact with them, not forgetting the rich history associated with their existence, which is passed from one generation to another. Marriage in Tiv land is rooted in the rich culture of the Tiv people, having different manners of marriages, which include marriage by exchange, known as Yamshi, marriage by capture, Kwasengoho, elopement marriage, Kwase Uyevese Min, and marriage by bride price, which is currently being practiced in Tiv land. Mr. Mike Yahweh speaks more on these forms of marriages.
In the ancient days, you needed to have a sister to exchange with another person who also had a sister for you to get married. This was very difficult because, like in my father's family, there were 5 boys with no sister. So they needed an uncle of theirs to borrow him his daughter, which the eldest of my father's brothers will exchange with somebody else. That one will come and born children. Among the female, they will use one to repay that debt that was borrowed by my father. So people like my father were on the waiting line until the white men came, and the second aspect of marriage, which is by bride price, came in. The third one, it's not really cultural, but it's there, is the one that a boy elopes with his lover without necessarily paying the bride price, and then he sends his parents, who come to tell the father-in-law and the mother-in-law that, look, your daughter is with us. Usually they come with certain traditional things to appease the father.
I'm sure most of you must have heard about the long-standing myth that a Tiv man offers his wife to a male visitor as a significance of a warm reception. Well, Mr. Yahweh has something to say.
It is one of these stereotype statements that has no backup. In my 53 years of existence, I've never heard anybody who says, oh, I went to visit this Tiv man and he gave me his wife as a caller. The Tiv man that I know is very hospitable, but if you joke with his wife, he has what he calls Ihoishaha, literally translated to mean a dagger to your ribs. With the difficulty of how it was to marry in those days, how will you now carry that person and give to another person as caller?
Music is also part of the culture of the Tiv people. They have been able to advance a form of communication that blends music intricately with it. This communication promotes the use of various traditional musical instruments, such as
the gbande, which is the drum, the beat. The ilu is something that is very traditional. It is not an instrument that is played anyhow. You have the gida, the man who blows into that trumpet. What he dictates that the drummers are going to beat the drums according to. You have the flute, which is the mia. Then of late you have the ajo.
Some Tiv-speaking ethnicity describe their culture as fascinating.
Of course, we have very interesting things. Talk about dance. I don't see any dance measuring up to the Tiv dance. Talk about our food. Is there anyone who will visit a Tiv man wouldn't eat pounded yam, bush meat? Doesn't matter who you are, we accommodate you.
Swangi is the name given to the traditional dance of the Tiv-speaking people. The dance is characterized by rhythmic contortion in slow mode and vibrant display, typical of African dance forms. Swangi dance particularly exhibits fluidity in body movements, a mimicry of the flow of the river Niger. Another popular dance of the Tiv people is the Swahili, the Tiv card dance. Since time immemorial, the Tiv people have perfected the art of weaving, a craft passed from generation to generation. Tiv people favor their traditional attire to any other form of attire due to the strong cultural identity it commands. There is tugudu, which is used strictly for burying dead ones. The Tiv women like to put on a special fabric known as iviavtir, which is worn during important occasions. Tiv religious thought is hinged on 3 basic concepts: Aundu, Sav, and Akombo. These concepts work together for stability, harmony, and communal well-being. On ascendancy to the throne, to Tiv, Mr. Yahweh says,
there are 5 blocks in the Tiv Nation who all produce this kingship on rotational basis. But before then, we used to have just 2.
Speaking of festivals and favorite cuisines of the Tiv people, here is what we found.
Pounded yam is our favorite food, and we have different types of soups. Some will say rat meat is their favorite, some will say pork, but some of the soups like Ikeisha Shwa, which means chicken with beniseed, those were the old and most favorite ones. There's a festival around December known as Ikeisha Shwa, and before then they used to celebrate new yams. When yams are out, the first one that comes has to be prepared, boiled, and you eat it with beniseed soup or the beniseed mixture.
What an interesting culture.